Okay, so I just cut the link out of the presentation I used, and went to the site on Chrome. I believe it's just agrisuite.omafra.gov.on.ca. The other way to do it, this is how I always find it when I don't have a link to cut and paste, is I search for OMAFRA AGRISuite Rebuild. And that should get, oh my good Lord, that's a huge spider. Jeez. Okay, so OMAFRA AGRISuite Rebuild. See, you can't catch him. And when you follow the link to the new AGRISuite, you will come to this page. Now, a couple of things that I think I can demonstrate here. Again, minimize or shrink the page a little bit. As your screen gets less and less real estate, instead of just falling off the side like it does on the old AGRISuite, everything just pushes down. And as you slide over, you end up looking like a phone. Your phone ends up looking something like this. Pushes down quite nicely. And it tends to be working equally well in Android and in Safari. Apple systems. Anyway, I talked about being able to save and access your work from everywhere. There is a button here for creating an account. You go in, you get a username, you assign yourself a username and password, and then you can sign in. And when you make an update on any device, that it updates all your devices basically. It's all going to the same place for its information. I'm going to go back to full screen real estate here and just dive shallowly into these calculators. First one I'm going to go into is crop nutrient calculator. We call these quick calculators, kind of designed to just do one-off things. I rarely work from my signed in account, just because when I'm using it, I'm just doing a single calculation. So similar words here. We got default farms and fields. You can put in your field area, your upper tier, lower tier municipality, and at this point, really all you need is your soil texture. Is it clay? Come on. Oh, sorry. Just a drop-down list, put in your soil texture. And put in, of course, sandy loam just for fun. Put in your soil test information, just like you would in the original NMAN, basically. Moving over, you have your crop information, and again, it's just a drop-down list for your crop type, your subtype, that kind of stuff. Your yield information. I had not selected any area here. Just as before, it gives you your upper tier, or it gives you the yield average for the area that they have the information for. You can choose your previous crop for a nitrogen credit. You can go with no nitrogen credit. You can choose your tillage type and your timing. You can go with pre-plant for this one. This all feeds into the crop nitrogen calculator. Comes up with your nutrient recommendations. So this would be your agronomic column. This is your crop removal column. So you've got nitrogen recommendation, and if you click on that little I button, the values used for your corn nitrogen, the corn calculator, pop up so you can see what they are. Just click outside of that to make it go away. The other one that I can demonstrate really quickly is the organic amendment calculator. Yes, Jasper?
Where do we enter the manure application in this calculator?
I'm going to the organic amendment calculator right now, Jasper, and that's where you enter the manure applications. Now, if you remember, we just have these three calculators now. It won't do a nutrient management strategy, it won't do a nutrient management plan yet. But what you can do is you can estimate, you can find out your crop requirements, you can find out the nutrient contribution from fertilizer or from manure. A couple of releases down the road, you'll be able to do a field management plan, which includes fertilizer, crop removal, manure application, that kind of thing. So far, these are the three calculators that we've got, making sure that they all work before we combine them all together into one big regulatory program. So again, whoops, I'm in the nutrient or the organic amendment calculator here now. Again, field name, farm name, field area. Doesn't have a great deal of impact on me right now.
Can I ask you a question that came up from the field? I'm not sure if this is the exact right time.
Sure.
Under that organic amendment calculator, can you change the percentage from 30% in the year of application?
That'll be asking about the nitrogen availability. Don't let me forget to talk about it, but I'm going to just go on now, but don't let me forget to talk about it.
Okay, thanks.
You choose your material, you give your material a name, the form, liquid or solid. You're going to keep going with the defaults here in the interest of time. It's going to be swine manure.
The type button doesn't work
Mine does. Jasper's having trouble with the type button. I will come back and see you when I'm done, Jasper. I know I invited you to follow along on your phone, and now I'm just ignoring your question, but I'm going to keep on going, and we'll see what's going on with why it's not working for you, okay? Okay, so for manure, we've got the nutrient data bank, same data bank that's in the AGRISuite program right now. You can either use the nutrient data bank or you can use your own lab analysis if you have one. In the calculator right now, it's only working on a wet basis. Once NASM gets included into this, we'll have wet and dry basis to choose from, but right now we're just working on a wet basis. And just like in the AGRISuite program, you can choose you can kind of dial in a little bit tighter on the type of manure that you're dealing with. Go with 6 to 10%. Then the nutrient values and data bank values are displayed here on the side. Go into your material application now. You have your application date, and whether it's you put in the details of the application, you put in the date, it'll pre-populate the season that it's applied in, just exactly the same as AGRISuite's working now. Application method, tanker, drag hose, irrigation. We'll stay with tanker. We'll stay with incorporated in 1 day. And application rate, I don't know, 4,000 gallons sounds good.
Yeah, we just click on the application timing drop down. There's only 2 options.
Application timing, yeah, pre-plant and side dress.
So if guy is putting your on, I think this is putting your on,
Right, okay. Yeah, can we deal with that off, Steve? I want to keep this pretty high level. And Steve was asking about different timings to use, and it's as much a question with the new one as the old one, kind of thing. So we'll go over it offline if you don't mind, Steve. I'm going to leave it at pre-plant. Incorporate within 1 day, 4,000 gallons. Then over on the side, you have your available nutrients per 1,000 gallons. And with my application rate, you have your nutrients applied. A couple information buttons pop up. Nitrogen calculator. Come on. So using the calculations that are in the publication 811 and the application details, you come up with the available nitrogen summary based on your application timing and application details. Question that came in off of the chat was, can you change the availability from 30%? 30% of the organic nitrogen for spring applied materials is standard across the board for non-ag source material. For manure, research has shown that there are different availabilities, and that is taken into account in the tables that feed into this nitrogen available nitrogen calculator here. If you want to get into what those are, I'd refer you to publication 811. That's where the charts are, and all I can say to that is it's based on a great deal of research to come up with what those available nutrients are. Similar for phosphorus. Year of application, we're still using 40 and 80%, 40% available in the year of application, 80% available over time. And if I had included trace elements or micronutrients or whatever you want to call them in my analysis, they would show up here in this column. Last thing I'm going to point to here is the economic value. Based on a number of, so far these are constants. Soon we'll be able to edit these because I know our nutrient cost is expensive here in this version, but soon we'll be able to edit them into whatever the farmer is incurring for a cost of commercial nitrogen. And right now the default cost for application is $1.50 cents per gallon for liquid manure. And so it comes up with the estimated value of the nutrients that are in that manure. And that just displays there. That is as far as I'm going to demonstrate. The fertilizer calculator does a number of things that don't really fit into a scenario that I want to get into here right now. It's just you can create a blend if you want. You can evaluate the nutrients that come from an application. But that's a quick dive into AGRISuite. I know I've brushed off a couple questions, but are there...
I have one question that came from the webinar.
Okay.
Does the new AGRISuite contain nutrient info on sand-laden manure that accumulates at the bottom of storage tanks?
Not that I know of. Right now, the data that we have is based on it's on a very large database of manure values, and it's based on dry matter content. I expect that Chris Brown is working on something like that, but at this point we don't have the nutrient value for sand that you pull out of the bottom of the manure pit. What you can do is pull some sand out of the bottom of the manure pit, send it away, get it analyzed, and put that analysis into the analysis part of the program.
Lots of people don't want to know.
Is that Jasper?
Lots of people don't want to know.
Lots of people don't want to know. That's a great reason to not do it, Jasper.
And I have one more question that I think James will be able to answer. In regards to the business number, what about the 5 nutrient unit clients that do not qualify for one of those numbers? If they, can there be people who don't qualify?
My understanding is, as far as the business number goes, if you're a sole proprietor of a business, for purposes other than our programs, you will still require a business number.
And just to jump in with a little bit more, if they truly don't have or have one of those exemptions, which is your business grosses less than $30,000 and you have no employees, then that does qualify you for one of the exemptions. You check off the box for that exemption, sign it, and send it in with the strategy.
Yeah, I think it is hobby farms. They're thinking of where they got 5 horses, 6 horses, and they had to get one.
Right. Okay, if you get working with this software and you have any questions, please email me, call me, whatever you want to do. If you just want to submit a comment, if you're working on your phone, if you hit the Contact Us button, provide feedback button, that phone number that's provided, that's the contact center, you click on that, it'll call them for you, so you don't have to actually type in the phone number. It'll call them, and click on the email address, that'll fire up an email that will be sent to the contact center as well.